What's up, Hagunja? How was the trading day today? It was a little volatile today, man. I didn't trade the morning. The Discord did. I saw what a lot of the market did. It went up. Nice little short squeeze today into Nvidia
What's up,
earnings.
Hagunja?
Which How was the trading day today? It was a little
Want to talk
volatile today,
about?
man.
We got to talk about, right? Can't not talk about it. Sorry, guys. I just had to mute something really fast. Perfect. Alrighty. Just want to make sure you weren't getting feedback. So yeah, let's talk about Nvidia. So what happened? 4:30. I think they were a little late to their call today, which is kind of weird. They're never late. Anyway, here I'm gonna actually pull it up on the. So Q4 beat across the board. I mean, they estimated 65.9 billion. They got 68, so they beat that, which is pretty good. I mean, their data centers beat. I mean, they beat everywhere. I mean, the numbers are there if you guys are, want a screenshot or whatever. Well, you could just look this up. It's everywhere. But you could see the reaction on Nvidia. I mean, this is after the market's closed, right? So like, I'm just gonna go down to the 1 hour. Just look at this candle up, man, on the earnings. They just ran it up a couple percent, like really quickly. But a lot of things sparked a little bit of a rally going into this. So where does that leave us? So anybody who's trading Nvidia, well, I've been talking about this level for a little bit of time. It's this high sitting here around 194. And we've just been chopping in this range, right? And there was initial pattern we talked about. I was like, hey, this could be a head and shoulders that could play out. I said invalidation will be a break back above this level, and confirmation would be some consolidation or some retest and then go to attack the high again. Well, look, I mean, we're there. We just got to get some closures now, man. Can we solidify a break and a retest and can hold above this level at 193? If so, then I think, this 212 is probably coming, for Nvidia. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, look, it is a breakout. I can't fade it, but we got to see what happens when the U.S. opens tomorrow. We were joking around about this in the Discord, by the way. If anybody doesn't know who we are, my name's Eddie. I'm from Tactical Edge Trading. We are a trading group. Check us out, tacticaledgetraders.com. We do live content as well on TikTok and YouTube, pretty much all social media. But we were talking about it earlier in the group. We're just like, it's kind of funny because every time Nvidia's beat earnings, they always dump later on, like a couple days after. So we're just waiting for the downfall. But for now, I mean, look, this is your trend. There's your support, 194. I mean, you hold this level. I mean, I don't see any reason why we don't make our way back up to 212. You start to slip this support. You start to slip this trend. I mean, maybe it's probably a move back down to the bottom of the range, 170. And if we break that range, our next level is down here at 154, 155. That was the place we've been talking about for a while. If we do break down, that's probably our first stop. Maybe we go lower than that, but that's the bullish and the bearish. What's up, everybody? Does YouTube have me live? I think, yeah, I am live on YouTube. All right, cool. So bullish and bearish. So, sorry, I'm just checking in on my trade real quick. I'm in a Bitcoin short. I'll talk about Bitcoin in a little bit, but let's talk about gold. What's gold been doing? So, I'm going to throw this out there. By the way, if you're not following, hit that follow, like, subscribe. And yeah, let's talk a little bit about gold. I feel bad because I'm going over all the good juicy stuff and there's not a lot of people in here yet. So it's like because I just started streaming. So they're gonna miss all the alpha. But for you guys who are here early, man, I appreciate it. But look, gold broke that level I've been talking about. I'm like, man, we've been banging our heads against this $5,100 level. If we break this, it looks more and more like possible we're coming back up to 5,600. What's it doing right now? I mean, look, we broke it. We had a back test. And we're trying to consolidate. So what I want to see here is really simple. If this thing can manage to hold, whether we consolidate, maybe we do a little sweep, and then break out. If we can, if this turns into a bull flag, hold this level, I think we're coming up to 5,600. And I threw this trade out there as a trade idea in the Discord. I mean, this is the measured move of your bull flag. Take that, boom. Takes you right up to the highs. Does it get there in a straight line? Maybe it has some consolidation, some pullbacks. But at the end of the day, I mean, like, that's the trade idea. And look, invalidation of this trade idea is real simple. That's what I love about these higher time frame levels. If you break back below this level, I can show you on the daily. You start deviating back below, you gain acceptance back down here, you're going to start making your way back down. And I'll bet you I know where the first target's going to be. It's going to be right here around 48.40, and then we're going to start making our way down the line, right? Look at all this they left behind. So if this does end up being like a failed breakout, that's the play. Otherwise, hold this level and we look for the upside. So gold's simple right now. It's a waiting game. Don't jump in. Don't FOMO. That's every trader's fucking kryptonite at the end of the day. What do I trade mostly? I trade Bitcoin. Like, I would say 9 days out of 10 I trade Bitcoin, but I do like to trade gold when gold's good. But sometimes gold's boring, so you got to move around. If I'm not trading gold and Bitcoin, I'm probably dipping a little bit of toes into S&P. I don't trade Nasdaq. I try to pick like one from each category. Like, I got my major crypto or like my DGen coin. I have my stock or indice, which is S&P. Just to spy, I use US 500. It's a futures ticker. And then I trade gold. Sometimes I dip into silver and other stocks and stuff like that if the swing trade presents itself. But I'm mostly a scalper for them right now. So I'm taking day trades. So those are the three I to target. And if you're a trader, you pick your bread and butter. Like, you pick a few that you really enjoy trading day to day. And if swing trades or bigger opportunities present themselves in other assets, then you can, you take those opportunities or you assess them. But yeah. IREN, bullish or bearish? What platform do you trade on? I'll look at IREN. I don't know yet. I haven't looked at it. Neckline right at 618. Yeah, right. That's crazy. What platform do you trade on, or what are the market taker there? So right now for Bitcoin, I'm trading on two different places. I'm trading on BitFi. It's really cheap. I don't know off the top of my head, but I know it's cheaper than MEXC. It's cheaper than like Bybit, cheaper than Binance. It's cheaper than any of the exchanges I've used. And I do use a prop firm as well, but I use Brightfunded. So Brightfunded, their commission fees aren't that bad. And we also, right now, we're in the works with NinjaTrader. So I'm probably going to start using NinjaTrader. We just vetted them, met with them. From what I haven't messed with the actual platform yet, but Nick's done some research on it and he's messed around with it. So we're going to kind of get our little demo going on it and then probably start trading on there. From what I hear, it's really good. But yeah, man. You just started live trading. Any tips? Well, the only tip I can tell you about live trading, man, what's your experience level, Quartz? You got to give me a little bit more than, what's up, Kush? I see you in there, man. Is there possibly a price pulls back to 48.40 and still be bullish? What are we talking about, gold? Yeah, look here. I'll be honest with you, dude. If we were just looking at this as a trend, right? We're in an uptrend on gold. And I'm gonna get back to that. I'm waiting for Quitch to answer his question, and then let me know how long you've been trading. Like, what's your experience? Are you profitable? You're not profitable? Like, are you just brand new? Like, literally just loaded money up in an account and you have like some strategy you saw on YouTube? Like, give me some context here, and I get you a better answer. But look, if we make our way back down here and attack this low here on a higher time frame, right? We could still actually be bullish, right? Because technically this is the daily low. And as long as we're above, so look, daily lows right down here, we put in a high, swing high, higher low, and then we broke that. So we could come back and technically, as long as we don't breach this low and we like put a higher low in, we could still be bullish on gold. What I don't want to see is like, I just saying this is the opportunity for me to take a short down to here. If it breaks it, that's extra. I'm not like targeting down here on a short. I go level to level for my trading. I was just giving the levels if we break like this, if this, then that. So if it does get down here, you got to assess it. But if it starts to lose this level, it's not usually a good sign when you get like a major level like this, because it's been building up to break this. It's not a good sign if it starts to lose that level, but pullbacks happen. So maybe it does deviate below it and we pull back into this area. Time will tell. So, but for now, level to level, 5,100, hold above that, man. We're not even thinking about this level here. And we're more bullish if we hold here. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. Are you putting any more trades in tonight? No, I'm just in this Bitcoin short, man. I'll show you the trade real quick, and then we'll go talk about some IREN and some other stuff. Sorry, I'm adjusting my tube real fast. Thanks, I appreciate that, man. And thanks for calling me by my first name. Thanks, Ryan. Sneaky little fuck. That's great, dude. I just got to make sure this is back on. Hopefully I'm back live. I can see TikTok's moving again before we got rudely interrupted. So let's just talk about BTC, right? Fresh chart. Let's talk about what happened. We were in a downtrend on BTC. Hopefully YouTube's back up. Let me double check real quick before I move forward. Might be back up. I don't know. I got to restart this page real fast and see. Yeah, it is up. It's back up. Okay, cool. Technical difficulties figured out, guys. Anyway. So look, we had a little bit of a downtrend. You can call it a little bit of a parallel channel, maybe, whatever you want to call it. Where did we bounce? Right on the 786. So people who don't believe in fibs, we bounced at the bottom of the channel. We also bounced at the 786. So right now, Bitcoin's just trying to, it's in the prove it stage, right? Like we broke out. We took out a 4-hour high. We took out a daily high, but we wicked it. We didn't close above it. And we're sitting above the trend. So we're at a point right now with Bitcoin. It's like, all right, it's got to prove it. But anyway, I'll talk about the trade. So what did I see? I'm just watching this right up here. To be 100% honest with you, it was just this little range. I saw this wick. I saw that we took liquidity up here at the high, right? That's usually the first sign. Then I saw that we start to establish a little bit of a range. When the range broke down, what did it break down to? VWAP, all right? It broke down, tested the VWAP. And when it lost basically when it back tested up here, it's kind of when I went short. So we'll see. If it breaks back above VWAP, I'm out. But I figured, I was like, look, it's the back test of the range. Market structure on my 15-minute start to shift down. There's your high, there's your low. I don't count the wick because that was a liquidity grab. And then I saw that we broke down, and that was my back test. So as long as we remain below VWAP, I think we're probably headed down just a little bit more. I do have a target in mind, and I'm going to show you on a different chart real quick. Lower than what you're on right now. Yeah. So this is my target really, right? So let's just look at it from a different chart perspective, right? It's breaking down. This is a bear flag. The bear flag's breaking down. Where does the bear flag take us? To this little trend right here. What is this trend? To go out, zoom out a little bit. It's just the trend since we bottomed out at 62. We've tapped it 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So if we made our way back down here around 67,000, 67,100, it would make a lot of sense to me. Do we hold there is the question. If we do, then that's great. Then we start looking at something a little bit bigger on BTC, right? For my crypto people out here. And this is probably like throughout the week, right? Maybe the next couple days, not. Oh, wow, man. Hey, guys, if you're watching right now, just hit that like, subscribe, follow. We do live content most days of the week, about six days a week. I think there's one day of the week, Saturday, that we don't consistently go live, but we may switch that up. It's myself, Ben. We're Tactical Edge Trading. TacticalEdgeTraders.com is our website. Check that out. We have some free courses on there. We'll teach you everything you need to know about trading for free. We don't charge for courses. And you can also join our Discord from there, which is also free. And you can chat with myself, Ben, Nick, and all of our other members, all traders at different levels. We got full-time traders who've been doing this for a while, and we have traders that are brand new. So check us out if you're interested. But anyway, look, it's starting to create a little bit of a downtrend here, right? So what does that mean? Well, one, it gives us an area of interest down here at this level. I'm like just watching this trend. So if I see price start to make its way at some point, maybe down here, see liquidity, and we start to hold trend and break,
Now I'm starting to think this maybe is a bull flag consolidation to go up to the next level. And where would that take us to? Well, I'm going to take a measured move of this flag. If this does play out, look, this is all speculation. Price may do a lot of different things between now and then. It takes us up to the 72 level. I'm going to zoom out a little bit so you can see what I mean. It takes us up to this wick, basically. I'm just going to pop this up a little higher. So that would make a lot of sense too. I mean, we move pretty fast in this zone here, right? Every time we get above this level, we shoot back up if we can get back above 69,000. So it's really breaking the 69,000 level, and I think we move pretty quickly. So I'd be looking for something like that, maybe a little bit of a back test just to be secure on BTC. This is just ideas. Like I said, maybe we get that bounce, breakout, retest, and then I'm looking for the bigger move. If we crack 69.5, then I know we're probably coming back up to 72 to take some of that liquidity. But maybe we go up higher, maybe we don't. But the trade idea is pretty much this for me. Nothing's financial advice here, guys. I'm just kind of just talking about what my plans are for BTC, what I'm seeing. He's not live. This is a recording. Yeah, okay, man. KT, how am I not live? If this is a recording, how am I reading what you're saying, buddy? Think about that. And get back to me. You have an answer. Yeah, I can do some Microsoft. Let me do some caller requests, man. I kind of just been going through my own shit. Let's do MSFT first, and then we'll go through Tesla. We talked about Nvidia, I talked about gold, and I talked about Bitcoin so far. If you're watching on YouTube, just rewind back, to the beginning. You can get analysis on all three. I'll revisit after we've gone through some requests first, but I want to try to keep it fresh for everybody's tuning in. You know what I mean? And let's go out to my. Oof. Look, we're holding, guys. I gotta give you that much. Look, I have so many fucking lines on here. You can tell we've been fucking watching Microsoft like a motherfucker, talking about these levels. Excuse my language, guys. I'm probably gonna get bleeped out and censored or something. So look, this trend since. Let me get the actual date here. I gotta get rid of this at the bottom. Sorry, guys. I didn't realize that popped up. I was getting a notification from TikTok. So look, this goes back to 2022. This trend. You got two initial bounces down here, right? I'm gonna really zoom in there. See the two bounces? And then it just starts to run up. We get another test back here in March of 25. What was that? That was the tariff low. That was a significant low last year before we rallied up. Now what's happening? We're back down at this trend again, and we're trying to reclaim it. Look at this. Look, it's attempting to make a reclaim on the daily. If it breaks this level, 404, I think you're going to come up to this 423, and I think by then you're already accepted back in here. You just got to confirm, maybe get a little back test at some point to confirm it, and then you run up and you attack this gap we've been talking about for fucking decades, man. I've been waiting for them to go back for this. The CME gap they left behind all the way up to 476, 480. It's a great target. Let's look and see if there's any divergence here before I, get too excited, right? Let's see if this is a confirmed low. If anybody doesn't know what a divergence is, right? It's just momentum. I use momentum. You can use volume. It just shows things behind the scenes that are happening. So look, I'm gonna teach you guys about divergences. If you're new to trading, this is gonna be money for you. It's the only leading indicator you'll ever get. Every other indicator is lagging. This is telling you things that haven't happened yet. Because what's happening? Momentum shifting up. As momentum shifting up, what's price action doing? Shifting down. What's happening? They're diverting. They're doing the opposite. That often happens as major resistances or supports, depending on which direction you're heading into that level. In this case, it's support, and it also happens to be our trend. So what I like is they took the liquidity down here, right? We got the divergence. They took liquidity, and now they're reclaiming trend. So they're reclaiming key levels they need to keep people bullish and keep people in the game, to basically not induce a larger breakdown. So that's a daily divergence. You don't really see it on the weekly. Let's see, 4 hours probably showing it too. Yeah, you can see it a little bit on the 4 hour right here off this low and this low. Momentum shifting up. So far so good, but what we really need to see, and I want to show you on the 4 hour, I want to start seeing a break of this level on Microsoft. Start breaking some 4 hour highs. Start giving me some conviction. If you put in a low, if you just start rolling over here and lose this level, this is nothing more than a lower high at the end of the day. So we just got to be mindful of this.
So 404, 405 is the first key level, and then you're going to have a big fight back up here at 423. But again, if you break this level, I mean, I don't see why you don't attack this gap. It may not go through on the first attempt, but you look for, this is the sequence. Like maybe you break out, little back test, attack this high, little pullback, right? And then we attack this. And this is going to become resistance. So don't be surprised if it gets up here and it pulls back initially, right? And then you get the attack through, like the breakthrough. It's just how I see these things play out a lot. It doesn't have to play out exactly like that or anything, but just be mindful. This is a level of resistance is what I'm trying to say. I'm just trying to illustrate it through LARP lines because I'm a fucking weirdo. I like to draw my ideas out. Let me move this over real quick. Sorry, guys. I got to do some adjusting. Either like restart my whole system. What strategy is the best to trade gold USD? Chill out, bro. If I was trading gold, if I would be 100% honest, you're probably best to trade it. If you're inexperienced, you want to trade on a higher time frame. Just trade the big moves, right? Because it's very volatile. I will say that much. But if you know how to day trade and you can get down on the hourly, scope out, like map out your plays on the hourly, jump down to like a 5 minute or 15 to execute your entries, you can really kill it with gold, man. I kill it with gold sometimes when I'm getting my right setups, I'll go for it. And I know other people in my group, my trading group, they fucking destroy it. Gold's one of our bigger winners. I mean, I would say BTC is probably our most traded asset, but it's slowly starting to creep more towards gold and commodities and NASDAQ. And I think Ben's he trades NQ and he's trading Apple too. So, I mean, we're switching, man. XRP. Fuck out of here. Fucking, I knew there's going to be one XRP person in the house. I'll check out XRP, dude, but you got to give me a second. I'm just trying to... Yeah, I appreciate it, man. I'm in a good mood right now, man. I had a good day. I had a great trading week. My account is up like 3% or 4% in the last couple days. The best part is I spent like 0 time in front of the screens. It's been jumping in, maybe jumping for a live, or just looking at the charts in Asia, waiting for a setup, hitting it, throwing a stop loss in, and waking up the next day in profits. Like, fuck yeah. Like one of those weeks, not sitting in front of there waiting for my move for hours. Like sometimes it's like that trading. And that's just me being real right now. So, do I trade options? I don't, but I know people do. Robert on the daily, yes, but move to weekly is right around 200 and has bounced. Robert? I don't know. What's Robert? Let's go look at IREN, man. Someone asked for IREN a little bit ago, and I asked bullish or bearish on IREN, and I was like, I don't know, but I'll look. Damn. All right, so I got some old TA here. I want to try to make out what it is. If not, I'm just going to erase everything. We're just going to go fresh. So look, downtrend established. I'm just going to go to a higher time frame so you can see what I mean. All right, look at our weekly. We've been in an uptrend for quite a bit of time. We created 2 major levels, one right here and one down here on the weekly. Your weekly swing high, your weekly swing low, and since then we've been trading below, in between those levels. Looking a little weaker because we barely even made it back up to this level. We put a lower high in way early. This is like a 618 pullback. Let me just double check it. I guarantee it's a 618. Look, 618 wick. Boom. Just sometimes you can just tell they make it so far and they get rejected. But what we are seeing is a higher low here, right? So what could happen here? We're looking to see is if we didn't lose any major levels. Can we hold a higher low here? Can we start to break this high here on the daily? If we can break this high right here, I'm going to show you. The one we're rejecting on right now, around 47.26, there's a very good chance it's going to make its way back up to retest this $63 level. And if, and then when you get up to this level, if it looks bullish and it's still running, maybe we get a little pullback and we keep running. So the key is, one, we really don't want to lose this low around 34. Otherwise, this whole thing starts to crumble down, and you're looking back down here around $20 for your next next major support. But look, in the meantime, just think about it. I think I drew this trend out there too. This could just serve as it's not confirmed because it's not 3 taps, but it could just serve as if you start to see price push up. Let's say we do break this, and we push into this level, and you start to see a little bit of hesitation here. It could just be the trend. So just keep that in mind. A lot of times, if it's not confirmed, we'll just consolidate for a little bit, and it could just end up being something like this, you know, where we're consolidating in some larger pattern that hasn't really made its, you know, really shown its face yet. And at some point, it's going to pick a direction, breakout up or down. So these are just the micro levels to watch, man. Watch 47 to the upside. And I would say if you start losing this 39, you're probably coming back down to test 34. You lose 34, you're coming down to 20. And inversely, if you break this 63, if you break that 47, 63, and then you break 63, 77. So the levels are pretty simple. Bullish or bearish? I'll be honest, man. I don't know. It's in a pattern right now. It's consolidating. I would say right now I'm neither bullish or bearish. I would say it's probably poised a little bit better for in the short term for the bulls, given the consolidation, and we're starting to mark up on the lower time frames. If you go to your 4-hour, you could already see we've broken structure multiple times. We got a market structure shift. We're just rejecting at a high right now. So if we can find some support, putting a higher low on the 4 and attack this 47, I mean, that's probably going to carry over to the daily for some type of break of structure on the daily, and then we're going to look good. And it'll look good to the upside. So, yeah. But for now, let's just see what happens. I wouldn't get too crazy about bullish or bearish, man. That's like the... Yeah, I did do the BTC analysis already. I don't know how to say your name. I'm a dude. I know I could see Mahmoud at the end, 8817. I don't know how to say the first half. Sahib, maybe? How much do you risk reward ratio? So when I'm doing a trade, my risk to reward ratio is usually risking 1 to make 3. So like in terms of R's, I'll risk 1 R to make a minimum of 3. I like to shoot for higher. If I can get 3, 4, that's usually a good trade, like a great trade. Sometimes on a swing trade, I'll get like up to 7 or 8, maybe even 10. I know Nick, and it's not even about it's not even about where you take the trade and put your stop. It's how it's your entry. Your entry is going to determine your stop and your R's. I know Nick gets it tight with his stop and his entry because he just gets really good entries, and he ends up getting like a 12R sometimes higher than that, which is fucking insane. Like a 12-to-1 risk reward, but I usually never risk more than 1% of the account on a trade. If you're risking more than 1% as a day trader, I think you're either really experienced, you know what you're doing, or you're a fucking idiot. It's usually the second one. And I say that because I was that idiot. So I'm not like talking shit to other people. I'm talking shit about myself. I could look at silver. Oh, I pronounced it correctly? Oh, good shit. Hell yeah. I'm half Palestinian, so I speak a little bit of Arabic. Not a lot, but I'm going to go look at XRP because I want to go talk shit. It probably looks good, though, to be honest. Everything else looks all right. All right, it's still in the same fucking range, dude. This ain't doing anything. Nothing special, at least. It's trying, right? It looks a little bit like Bitcoin. I'm going to get rid of the TA here. Let's just look at this. Let's say fuck everything else. But I'm going to mark off one level because you have to pay attention to this level. It's just a major level. But look, what's XRP doing? Just consolidating. Hasn't broken out yet. It's still lagging Bitcoin. Remember, Bitcoin just broke its trend, right? And it's still deciding if it wants to break higher. It doesn't know yet. It doesn't know. And nobody knows. We'll know in probably tomorrow when New York opens if they decide to run it all the way back down or if they're going to keep going. Because New York's the one that pumped us today. So look, XRP is going to need confirmation, just like all alts. They follow in, the shadow of Bitcoin. Bitcoin needs the lead first, and then these will usually follow. But look, if this is a bull flag, let's just say this is a bull flag. If this is a bull flag, here's your measured move. It's probably going to line up very close with, this level right around here, this 87. Remember I said watch this level. Why is this level important? Well, we broke down from this level. Drag this line all the way over here. So a back test up here would make a lot of sense. Back up to this 180, 190 level. If it can reclaim it, then hey, maybe the bulls are back on, right? Maybe the bulls are back in charge. But I'm gonna really like smack the hopium down right now. You're still probably gonna run into this trend at the end of the day. Ultimate, larger, higher time frame trend, right?
like even if you do get that back test all the way up here, you're still hitting resistance and resistance, 2 levels of resistance on a higher time frame. So that's going to be a tough cookie to crack. So just be mindful. This could just be a bearish retest. You hit a major area of liquidity, which was this wick low from October. You know, it just swept it. Oh, by the way, guys, if you're watching right now and you're not following, hit that follow, subscribe, like. We do content 6 days a week. You can also check us out at tacticaledgetraders.com. We have free courses Ben put together. Wonderful courses. Like, when I mean good, like, fucking, most people would pay for this shit. We're giving it out for free because we don't want to gatekeep educational stuff, learning how to trade. And you can also join the Discord, all from the website. So, and our Discord's free to join, and we do live not live TA, but we do live trading, actually, together. And then we do a bunch of stuff. We post our charts. We're just a community of traders, all levels. I'll look at Apple. So that's XRP, dude. I don't want to get too bullish or bearish. Just wait to see what Bitcoin does. If Bitcoin starts rejecting and if Bitcoin starts rolling over from this level it's at right now, I know it's hard to see on that chart because this chart's all fucking marked up. XRP is going to do the same shit. It's going to just roll over too. Like, it's going to end up just doing this, and then coming back down to the bottom and creating a new low. So it's really determined on what Bitcoin does. If Bitcoin breaks out, man, this thing could run, and it'll probably take out this wick first, which makes a lot of sense right up there. And look how straight that line is. So perfect. They're usually crooked as shit like that. And then maybe up here if we get a little bit higher. So take it one level at a time. Where the fuck do you get a bull flag? Bull flags are just consolidations, my dude. Bull flags are not confirmed until they break out. Like, that's the thing about a bull flag. It's speculation until it actually plays out. But that's what we do as traders. We speculate. And we wait for reactions. I may see something different than you. It don't matter. Maybe we get the same result. Let me go see what else you guys want to look at. I got to go in order, guys. You guys are typing a lot of shit in. Netflix? Let's go look at Netflix. I want to go talk shit about Netflix. Now, Netflix has been... Oh, man, fucking... All right, so I'm bearer of bad news again, right? So we talked about Netflix losing this major trend, right? And we talked about it bouncing off this level around $70 and why it made a lot of sense, or actually was going towards that level. But we didn't get there just yet. We talked about one scenario. There was this downtrend, and what were we doing? We were bear flagging out. Well, they faked out the bears. I didn't take this trade, thank God. And they ran it up. But right now, where are we running into? So this 82.5 level, just to simplify it, I'm going to just do this. I'm just going to show you on the weekly what that level is and why it's important. It's weekly low. We established support here on the weekly twice, and then we ran up. Now it becomes resistance. When you lose the support, it flips and turns into resistance. So if we can reclaim this level, then we can start maybe like looking to mark up a little higher. There are some levels as well that I'm kind of interested in. If it does break that, maybe around this $93, $94 level seems like a good level to start targeting. But look, you also do have a downtrend forming right now, right? Well, it's still intact sort of. So we're like right there. It's like, are we going to break trend and reclaim this support and as support? And if we do, then we'll probably come attack this high up here. So like, boom, if it does look like that, and then we just start, making our way up, grabbing all this liquidity, squeezing all these shorts out. Late shorters too, by the way. That would be a normal bounce, that wouldn't be anything crazy. I wouldn't even call that a rally at the end of the day. It'll feel like a rally. It'll probably be euphoric. But that would be my first target. And if it breaks that, let me talk higher. But that's what I'm looking at. If Netflix rejects here at this 82.60 level, I mean, you're looking down at $70, maybe lower. Between 60 and $70 is your next low. That's just what I'm saying. You're deep on Nvidia. You bought at 207? No! Why would you buy at 207? Look, you got a chance on Nvidia. I'm going to go over Nvidia one more time because Nvidia was hot today. So it is, and it literally is my headline. So it would be dumb if I didn't talk about it, right? No, guys, we're not going to talk about Nvidia. I just fucking clickbaited everybody to get in here. So look, damn dude, you bought up here. Must have bought on a futures market. So look, if it can hold 194 as support,
I see 212 in the cards. I don't know how that translates. It seems like you're on a different spread than the one I'm seeing right here. So that the price action, the prices may differ, but the levels will probably be the same. So you're looking at this level here. You're looking at flipping this range into support. That's all. The range high has to flip into support, and then you open up the all-time highs again, wherever that is on your exchange or whatever platform you're trading on. So that's Nvidia. Do you guys want to look at Hood like every day? And it's always sad to look at Hood. Make me sad. But I'll go look at it. I looked at XRP Shogun. Yeah, I can look at Hood, man. I feel like you guys are grasping on the straws with this one. All right, let's just get rid of some of the TA here. I'm going to get rid of my little LARP lines. Fuck all that shit. All right. I was just painting out scenarios. So look, you're trying to establish support right now at this 71 level. We're front running a key level on Robinhood, right? So Robinhood trending up for quite a bit of time, right? Since the March lows of last year, tariff lows. We lost that trend. We backtested. We established that we were in a downtrend once we lost this daily low, and then backtested it and confirmed and just continued down. We front running this level around 71 or 66. I'm sorry, 66, 67. So maybe it's going to fill this gap to the upside that we left behind. We left this gap behind and a daily high around 89. So if we do continue up and break this range, which we're in a 4-hour range right now, so I have to really break that down to get to the nitty gritty, right, of what we're talking about. So this is just a range. End of the day, this right here. So if it breaks this range, it's going to start filling this gap. Potentially makes its way back up to attack this high around 88. If it breaks that high, then we start attacking 96. We make our way up there. So, but if we start to lose this low, then 67 is just the obvious number that's below us. We front ran it. So we'll see what happens. Right now we're ranging. No real tell yet. There might be some divergence. There is a little bit. Momentum shifting up as price was shifting down. What you don't want to see is to start to roll back down. That's not what you want to see. But there's a little bit of divergence there. So that's on the daily. It's not really curving back up yet, momentum-wise, on the weekly. But, it doesn't look terrible on the weekly. You're starting to print what looks like could be a little bit of a local bottom. So a couple candle formations usually can signify a little bit of a bounce coming. So this gap's a good target. And if you break that gap up here around 96, and you can see why 96 is important. It was pretty much that support we found, that last support we found last year in August before that last leg up. So I appreciate you guys for hanging out, hitting the like button, subscribing, following, and check us out, tacticaltraders.com. Free courses. You can join our Discord for free from there, and we do this is a trading Discord, man. We're not a signals group, but we do put charts out there. We talk trading ideas, strategies. We give you all the educational stuff you need to build a system, and if you want to join the Discord, we can help you refine it. But we put the stuff out there so when you do join the Discord, you're not sitting there I have no idea what these guys are talking about. You know what I mean? End of the day, you're in it with us. You get it. You understand what we're talking about when we say SFPs and order flow and all that kind of stuff. I want to see if this is going to break soon, man. It's starting to put a higher low on BTC right here. I don't know. Let me see. I don't know. Anyway, let me get back off the fucking 2-minute charts. I don't know if PTC is going to be the play today. Might close my trade out. It's getting back up the VWAP, so I'm going to take what little profits I have. I gave some back, but it is what it is. Sometimes it's like that. Let's go look at Apple. All right, so Apple's in an uptrend. Very clear by that. What is it holding right now? If you just take a line, drag it across from right here, it's holding the previous high it broke out from, right? So we're trying to hold this level of support. We're doing really well with the 244.
And we're starting to consolidate, man. We're starting to build up some pressure to the upside right here. You see this? How we're starting to get tight? At some point, it's going to pick a direction, up or down. To me, based on everything I'm seeing in it, I would say upside looks a little bit more likely if this does break. And I think we're going to go see we might be seeing a new all-time high on Apple pretty soon. I don't think it was ever higher than this, so it's looking a little bit like a bull flag on the weekly. So if you're long Apple, I mean, I'd stay long. I wouldn't be getting short. Now look, if we start to reject, and look, here's where I flip short. You know, if we start losing this trend, you know, you lose this trend, and then you got to worry about 44 holding. If 44 doesn't hold, then you're really bearish. You know, then you know you're coming down to take out this low. But as long as it's above this, you know, the expectation, maybe it's going to just do that and continue up. But yeah, you can also watch the all-time high, which is around 289. See what happens up there. If you know, there could be a rejection. Maybe it's just a double top fake out. They want to do one more sweep of liquidity, and they're just going to run it down. But you always look out for the trap. But if it breaks that level, man, price discovery again, then you start looking up. I don't know, what would the measured move of this be? I don't really I don't even know if this is like a triangle, but let's say it did break out. Maybe it gets up a little higher, like 315, 320. Maybe it goes higher. Who knows? When gold hits 51.90, it'll go down for quick scalp. Yeah. You know Hood is going lower now. Yeah, Robert's been saying that for a while, man, about this fucking Kathy Woods. I wouldn't be trading Hood either. What's up, Parker? Yeah, I can look at INTC. Let's go look at this fresh. Okay. All right, so this is the high we're SFPing right now. You can see that's the high we're battling, around 50 to 51. You can see they actually went all the way up and took liquidity at this high right here. Let's just call it 52.5, right? So they swept the liquidity. We're still in an uptrend. So that's the good thing, right? We haven't lost any weekly lows. Trend is still up. See how clean that is? How it looks like it's still holding? So as long as this trend's up, you're good. You're also holding what? The previous high. Just take a line, drag it right over. TA is not really crazy. You just got to have a system, understand what you're looking for, right? So as long as you hold above this 42.50, this thing's probably going to keep looking to attack this high at 52. If it breaks this 52 level, I mean, you're going to start marking up, man. I mean, I would imagine. Let's look at it here. I'm going to drag this line back across. What happened last time we broke 52? This is how I like to make my, ideas of what price might do. We broke this 52. We ran up to 69. We made the all-time high, right? Last time we broke 52, we ran up to the all-time high. So you get the pattern that's going here. So we need to break 52 and like actually a clean break above it. So let's go back up over here. So if we break that, maybe we make a move up to 68, 69. But let's take it one level at a time. So for now, resistance is up here. Support's here in this trend. You start flipping this trend, bearish case, right? Let's say this thing starts to roll over. Your first area is going to be this 34 level. That's the bottom of the range. Acceptance back into the previous range. Expect to come take the lows. Or at least revisit the lows. And if it loses this low here, then you're probably coming all the way back down here. You see how like I'm just drawing lines across the screen? It's just areas where price traded before. They become, this is once resistance. If we came back down and revisit it, it would become support. That's all it is. Higher time frames have more weight too, by the way. But right now it looks bullish. In the short term, you could probably watch this little trend that's starting to form, right? Like if you go down to, I can't even call it a short term, but like zoomed in a little bit, right? Get forming a little bit of a trend. So if you start to pop this thing, look for the back test, higher low, and then look for the attack that high. This takes out that 52, 53, then you're looking at the towards 68. Any questions on LDI? Let me go look at it. Any thoughts on it? What is LDI? Loan department. Shit. It's just been in a range. Let me get rid of that tool. By the way, guys, if you're watching, hit that like, subscribe, follow. Check us out, tacticaledgetraders.com.
We go live 6 days a week, live TA just like this, and we talk about the markets. So look, I mean, it's just been kind of consolidating in this little range here. It's not a small range. It's a pretty fucking big one. I'm making it sound like it's nothing, but like the moves are gigantic. That's like a 400% move. That's a lot, you know. Something I find a little interesting, right? I'm just going to just draw some stupid lines. But look at that. That connects right there. So it's like my ceiling's getting higher every time we manage to bounce. So maybe if we do put a higher low in here, we can start to expect that maybe if we do break that high, that this trend could come into play again. Look, it lines up. But let's just get rid of this stupid trend. This is more of a, just, you know, food for thought. It's really this level. That's the next big level on the weekly. You're going to attack. We've taken the liquidity here. We never got to this level at 550. So if we manage to hold here and put in a higher low, like an actual higher low, right? Because this could just be a consolidation before we move up, like before one of these. So as long as it puts a higher low and doesn't start taking out these lows down here at 143, you know, I think $5 could be in the card, and maybe a little higher if we can break and tack this high and see what happens up here. But yeah, that's your support, that's your resistance on the higher time frames. I mean, lower time frames, it's just chopping around and it's slowly down. This feels like a shakeout after an impulsive move or sell off, like just like, you know what I mean? Like you got this big move, you got a bunch of people probably going long here, thinking they're going to squeeze a little bit out of it, and they're just going to run it down and squeeze these people out before they actually do reverse it. But the first thing I'd be looking for is looking for divergence, man. If you don't see divergence forming, we haven't found the low yet. And right now it's not there. So until we see those divs start to form, then I wouldn't be even thinking upside yet. But that's LDI. They're taking profits. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, wouldn't you? If you were that guy, right, who had the balls, and it's not even that hard to do. You just got to have patience, right? You know this is the range low. You know this is the target. When they came down here and swept that, and then they reclaimed that level, that was your ticket to go. And if you got in, if you were one of the few probably buying when everybody was super bearish, right, you would have made a lot of money. And look, you can even say, like, there was a lot of signs pointing to that. It was a breakout of a trend, a retest. Just like I always talk about, breakout retests. I mean, you can see them in the chart. They happen over and over. I didn't just make it up like this is what I'm looking for. No, this it's because that's the pattern that just shows itself to me all the time. Like everyone's going to find something you're going to see certain things in the charts more often than other people's because your brain's wired differently than the next guy or girl. And, you know, mine just happens to see the trends. And I can see when the trend's changing. That's my strength in the market. That's why I like to trade these reversals and these breakout retests. Some people, their strength is seeing the liquidity grabs, being able to identify trap traders. You know, that's Ben's. That's Ben's like fucking superpower. He loves SFPs. He's good at them too, man. Really good at them. He's made a lot of money doing SFPs. That's all he trades too. He don't trade anything else. So yeah, but that's LDI. What else you guys want to look at? So I did Apple. Somebody said Ondas. Let's go look at Ondas. I'm not trying to exclude Ondas from the group. Man, it still looks the same, dude. I don't got good news for this one. Unless you're short. If you're short, then I got great news for you. But let me just get rid of everything real quick. So look. You started a trend. It's here, right? You haven't lost. I mean, you could argue maybe that trend has been lost, depending where you pull it from. If you pulled it from here, then you lost the trend you're back testing. If you just happen to be, if you want to be a bull, then maybe you're pulling from there. Both of them I can see the case for. But either way, nothing gets confirmed until this high gets taken out up here, right? Regardless of where I'm pulling my trend from, this is the high that has to be broken. So this 1143 needs to be cracked before we can start looking higher. If that happens, I think you got a good shot, right? A good shot at maybe going back up to revisit these $14, $15 levels. Inversely, right? Let's say this is just a trend, or let's say we don't break this level, right? What does this become to me? Well, it starts to look like this. It starts to look like a bear flag. That's just looking to reject and roll over and come down and take out some lower levels. And that level is at $5. That's where I think it would end up going if we did start to roll over here. But if we claim that, then maybe we do invalidate some of that. Market structure starting to form on the daily, right? We got the low, high, higher low, break a structure, market structure shift, and then we have the back test. If this back test confirms as a higher low and we can take out this high, that's a confirmed market structure shift. So we're going to be like, it's going to be looking a lot more positive for ONDS. But until that happens, just watch those levels. You do want to be mindful. Like, look, if I get rid of this right here, let me get a cleaner trend, right? If you go down to like your 4 hour, you're starting to develop a little bit of a trend here, right? You can see. So it's like an early sign. If you start to lose this trend and start to take out this wick low, there's a very good chance that this is breaking down and you're going to come take out the low and potentially lower. So that's the start of what will look bearish to me. So that's ONDS. NQ divergences are good. They are good. They're my favorite tool to use when I'm trading. I'm primarily a divergence trader. Like when I'm going for big swing trades or I'm looking for major levels, if I don't see a divergence going into that level, most of the times I'm not taking the trade. Even if it's like a perfect SFP or something like that, but I don't see any divergence. I can't find it if I can't find it on a higher time frame and I can't find it on a lower time frame, then it just doesn't have. There's no conviction for me. So that's just me though. But that's just because I put a lot of weight into divs. All right, so NQ is pretty simple, guys. It's like we're in an uptrend, no fading. All right. If you want to pull from this low here, we can argue that maybe we lost the trend. Or you can look at it from another perspective, which this is how I'm looking at it now. Starting to get to that point where you just have to look at it for what it is. It's just consolidating. We don't know if this is bullish or bearish consolidation yet. But what we do know is we're establishing a range, right? And at some point, this range is going to break. Range low around 24,000, range high just about 26,000. So a break above would confirm that we're not done with this move, right? A break below would confirm that this is actually going to be a macro high. And then we're probably coming down to retest this level here. Around 22K. I mean, that's what I got on this one, guys. So, yeah. I mean, there's not much happening. If you're looking for lower time frame levels, go to your 4 hour. I mean, you can look for market structure, see what's happening. We're right up against resistance right now, so this is probably not the place to go long. Which you see this level right here. This is going to be support on the 4 hour. So look for 25K to hold, and your resistance on in the immediate time is right here. It's around 25,400. So look, break above this, you open up the gates to maybe make it up to 26K. You start rejecting here, you look down to 25, you lose 25, you're looking back down into the 24s. I mean, don't get more simple than that, I guess. But here I'll give you some bull hopium, right? If you ran a trend from here, it's a breakout. So it broke out of a trend. So even if it does pull back, it's normal. Could do something like that and continue up. Well, only time will tell, so we'll see what happens. Keep an eye on this one. I think if, NQ continues to move up bullishly, you're going to see a lot of stocks run up. Tech's probably going to be running. It's probably proof that tech's running up. I imagine if Nvidia starts to dump, this is probably going to start to dump. A lot of other things will follow, but we'll see. They don't lie. Check out NQ futures. I have a long up to 25. So you're longing into this resistance here. This is NQ futures, dude. This is US 100s is a futures on NQ. You have a long up to here. Where's your long in? Where you in from? I mean, you already hit that level. You're trying to get the back test? Which candle you confirm for a breakout? Which time frame? Look, man, if you get a 5-minute candle confirmation above a level, I don't put a lot of weight into it. But if I get like a 4-hour confirmation above a level, like closures, then I'm a little bit more interested. If I get a daily closure, then I'm like, okay, that's a breakout. Like
at least one daily close, like a strong daily. But like if you get like a candle like this, let's say for example, we're looking for the daily breakout of the all-time high. If we get one candle, right, just one singular candle that does this on a daily, you know, pops up and closes that high, then I'm confirmed, right? But if it happens to be like a daily candle that does that, then I'm like, I need to see another one, you know? It's kind of like everybody has their rules for that kind of stuff. For me, I need to see like one or two daily closes above a level. Unless one candle's like fucking massive and it's like, all right, there's no fading that type of thing, you know? Oh, TikTok. Sorry, I gotta do a verification code, guys. Make sure, let them know I'm still here. Check out NRN 25301. Looks like you long the top, my dude. I'm gonna show you on the 15, right? Maybe it goes up, right? But like, you went long like right around here, as it was coming down. So what you're looking for now is just to reverse. You're hoping that this is right here, that this low that you're at right now, this last consolidation is gonna hold. Because if you lose this low, this whole green candle is coming back. So you could make your way back down to 25,100. So I'd say, man, this is probably, if you want to hold your trade, dude, that's fine, do you. But like, this would be my cut it off, like bounce or cut it off point. Like that's the best way I can put that one. Yeah. CAVA. I already looked at gold, our gorilla hills. If you actually go, like back to the second, probably like the first 10 minutes of the stream, you'll see it. It's in there. What time is it, by the way? I'm not doing a long stream today. I just want to do a quick one. I usually stream, by the way, guys, if you guys are interested, I stream Sundays, Mondays, Fridays. My typical time's around 9 p.m. Eastern, 9:30 sometimes. Ben does the other days, so he'll be on Tuesdays, Thursdays, sometimes Wednesdays, but usually we have a meeting in the Discord. And by the way, if you're interested, check out the Discord, tacticaleducators.com. If you're not following, follow, subscribe, like. Helps the channel out. And like I said, we're doing lives about 6 days a week, going over markets, doing live TA. And then we have the group. We give out free courses. It's all on the website. All right, so this is, look, we had the inverse head and shoulders. We talked about that. I had that marked out, right? And we said if this breaks, then take in the gap. And we've taken the gap, right? Look, that was the gap we had to take. We've taken it already. So that was the first thing. Now we're getting up to our next test, which is coming up around 94. Can we get above 94? If we start breaking 94, then we start opening it up to potentially, $100, maybe higher if we get above that. So right now, one level at a time. But what I do notice, and I'm going to point out, on the neckline, we left behind the CME gap, right? So we basically gapped up to, and we left the gap. So that's going to be a point of interest. So any point we start to pull back, that'll probably be a target for me. Simple on CAVA. And then your resistance is up here around 94. So those are your levels. The measured move of this inverse head and shoulders, I think we did this one together. It was pretty much like online with this high, yeah. So maybe we make it up to 94, maybe $100, but yeah, I mean, you got that gap to the downside to watch, and then there's your major levels above. Not too much in between. It's been straight up, So a pullback wouldn't be crazy. So maybe they pull back and they fill this gap. They would still maintain market structure on the 4-hour because look, low, higher low, higher low. And that to me I would still be long on it, as long as it's maintaining that. Got a little bit of a trend coming up too, so just keep an eye on that. What do I think about Google? I don't know. I'll take a look at it in a minute. JFrog? What is JFrog? Someone asked for that a few times. Be honest with you, bro, I don't really have an opinion on this one. This one looks beat up. I mean, it's a pretty aggressive pullback on the weekly, right? We lost a lot of levels. We've taken out 1, 2 weekly levels, and we're trying to hold as we speak, right? So we're trying to hold this level right about here. You can see they're getting a reaction there. So they're trying to hold. If you can hold this level around 37, 37.50, I would expect it to maybe make its way up into this range here around 45. It's a lot left for them to take back, you know. You see why this level makes sense? Because it was one support, 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 and then we broke right through. If we came and back tested this, it could still confirm the downtrend, but it would be easy target, you know. And not financial advice, nothing's easy in trading, but you get what I'm saying. Like if this starts to move up, it could move quickly. So just keep that in mind. I got one more in me, guys, and I think I'm gonna jump for the night. Like I said, today's not my normal night for streaming. I just want to do a quick market update with all the Nvidia stuff, keep you guys informed what was happening. Let's see what the last one's gonna be. We're gonna do. I know what I'm gonna do too. I'll do Google and I'll do Amazon because they're both big boys. I want to try to hit the big dogs. How often do I stream? I mean, I stream about 3 days a week, and Ben streams about 3 days a week. Between the two of us, we're streaming 6 days a week. We're both from Tactical Edge Trading, so yeah, man. Follow, like, subscribe. You'll get notifications every time we stream. And if you really want to know when we're going live or what we're doing, just join the Discord. You can do that all through the website, tacticaledgetraders.com. There's some free courses to check out in there too if you're interested. I'll teach you all about trading, and it's free. Can't beat free, right? Let me see. So we got a weekly low right here. Oh, it's a daily low, but it's a weekly low. I could probably tell you. So look, weekly low is being held. Barely. If you lose this low, man, not a lot below us. You got 270 as temporary support, but I think maybe 254 would probably be the next major bounce area I would look for. But you know, there's definitely some room to the downside on this thing if it starts to break down. But look, it's holding that weekly low. So as long as it holds this weekly low, can't get bearish on it, all right? Yeah, just treat it like a range. This is the range low, and this is the range high up here. We swept the range high a few times, though, so technically it was established like right there. We deviate, back test, and we're holding it. So you got to get back above this like 330. Ideally, you want to, 330 is really where it's at. You could see right here where all the liquidity started to pile up because it just started to run down, and they didn't take anything. So liquidity stacked up all the way up to this level around 330, 332. So I don't know, man. If it gets back up there, you probably take the highs again if you can break that. And if you start to break down here, man, you could look at 270, maybe down to 260. That would probably be your next stop to the downside. I would say higher time frames. You know, it's probably going to consolidate for a while. It's had 1, 2, and 3 big pushes up. Oftentimes they do tend to need some time to cool off. I'm just looking to see if there's divergence. There's bearish divergence on the weekly. Got to be mindful of that too, right? Remember, I told you these divergences play out before price action. A lot of times will actually show it. But look, you got two sets of divergences, right? So you see how from here to here, price is going up. Essentially from this high here where momentum topped out and has been trending down generally, price has been pushing up. It's not a good sign on a weekly. So I think this could maybe be early signs of distribution. How does that get invalidated? We take out the highs. That's it. We don't lose this low and we take out the highs, and this will reset and continue to move up, and then we can basically invalidate the divergence. But right now it's there. So how long have I been trading? 6 years. I'd say Ben and Nick have been trading a lot longer than me. They're about 2 times as much. They're like a little over 10 years, I think, each. So, I mean, you can learn a lot about them. You can pretty much learn TA in fucking 3 months if you have somebody who can teach you, or a mentor, or like a good program. TA is not hard. Becoming a profitable trader is a journey, man. It's not like there's no time limit on it. It varies person to person. Life experiences get in the way sometimes. Sometimes they benefit you. If you're, sometimes being smart is not going to help you in trading. It can actually be a detriment. Ego, thinking you know better than the market, that can really get in your way a lot as a trader. So it really varies when you can get to that level. But so the last one I'm doing is Amazon. I said Google and Amazon are my last two. If you want more TA, guys, one, just sub, follow. You'll get live alerts, and then if you get here early, I'll most likely get to your charts. But you can also check out our Discord. Access to the Discord's done through tacticaledgetraders.com. That's our website. Links are in the bio and description. And if you join the Discord, man, just tag me in there. Let me know, like, hey, I was on your live. I was one of the guys with the TA that, like, you missed. Throw the chart in, and I'll chart it for you. That'll be like my gift to you for joining the free Discord. Like, it's like a win-win for you guys. We just want people in there, man. We want to, it's just, like, we want real traders. I'm going to be honest with you guys. We're not like, hey, come in there and ask me to chart things for you and give you signals. That's not what we're there for. We're a real trading group. We're real traders. We want to be, we're trying to build like a community of aspiring traders of all levels. There's always going to be people who are below you and above you in, like, experience and levels. And that's the idea. We want to try to build on that. And, iron sharpens iron, like it can be a lonely place as a trader. Even if you have it all down and you don't need help, sometimes trading can be lonely. So communities help. So look, we're looking for the inverse head and shoulders to play out here. We know that resistance on Amazon sits around 212. It's the start of that little gap we have. I'll show you on the daily, right? Look at the daily. So we know that's resistance. We also know it's resistance because it was support in the past. This is a weekly level. And you could see we were ranging above it and we lost it. Now it's flipped into resistance. So what are we looking for here? We're looking for a break of this level and acceptance. We'll probably end up filling the first CME gap up to 220 if we can gain acceptance back above 212. And then we have an opportunity to make our way back up to the top of the range, right? So if, like, we're just looking at this as a range, this is the top of the range. What else is up here? Well, the second CME gap we left behind. CME gaps, by the way, for anybody who's new, doesn't understand what I'm saying, I call them CME gaps because I'm a crypto trader, but they're just gaps in the market. Basically, from market close on a Friday, market close at a certain price, it opened on a Monday at a different price. Or it moved so fast during off market hours that it leaves behind these gaps that you can see on the stock. A lot of traders trade only these gaps because, there's strategies behind them. Then they usually get filled. There's a high probability they're going to get filled. So you can use those as targets. Use those as obstacles, like support and resistances going into them. But yeah, they're good to know. They're good to understand. If you want to learn more about that, like I said, join the Discord. We talk about that kind of stuff. You can ask other traders how they trade these gaps. I happen to trade them sometimes, not so much anymore. You should do it on altcoins because you get these 40% gaps, and I would just be like, yeah, I'm trading this shit. But yeah, that's what I'm watching for here. And it also lines up that this inverse head and shoulders, if it plays out, would probably take us up to right about this 230 level. That was that stupid little trend line I had in there in the beginning, right? Takes us like right up into that level. So all starts with breaking 212 first, though. Can't do anything till we break that level, guys. To start trading, what market is okay for newbies? Look, man, if you're learning how to trade, if you're starting trading, it depends at your experience level. Do you know how to TA? Do you have a strategy that's been tested, back tested? Have you done demo trading? Like, do you know, like, how to actually execute a trade properly and, like, use good risk management? Those are questions you need to ask yourselves. If you're on the newer side and you just need like an asset to practice with, start with like something like easy, like the S&P 500. I would say you could do, I wouldn't go too deep into stocks. Stick with your indices, man. NASDAQ gets a little volatile. I'd say S&P is probably a lot easier than that. SPY, whatever you want to call it. The Qs get harder. Bitcoin's definitely way tougher. I wouldn't suggest Bitcoin or crypto for any newbies to trading because the volatility will fuck with you. But yeah, those things are pretty solid to trade as a newer trader. And then you'll start to find like your comfort zone and you can start branching out, figuring out what you like to trade. But no, I think that's it, guys. I said that was my last chart. I'm gonna probably jump. But if you guys wanna, if I didn't get your ticker this time, just sub, hit that like, follow, and you'll get a notification next time you go live. We do live 6 days a week, so if you didn't get you today, we'll get you tomorrow. All right. You can also check us out, tacticaledgetraders.com, free courses. You also have access to our Discord from there. A portal will take you right to us. It's free to join. You can also hit me up in the Discord if you join. Unfair Philly, that's my tag. And just let me know you're in there. And if, let's say, it's important to you, you got a trade open on one of these charts. If you join, like I said, tag me, let me know what the ticker is, and I'll hook you up, all right? One-time deal for, like one-time incentive for joining the group. But you guys have a good one, man. I appreciate everybody coming in and hanging out. Until the next time, guys. Later.